Day and night, people live in constant fear of their crops being torn apart, trash cans being raided, and vehicles crashing into these four-legged beasts right on the highway. They breed fast, destroy everything in their path, and show zero fear of humans. The authorities are helpless. Locals are fed up. And that's when hunters like us step in. The most intense wild hog hunt of 2025 starts right here, right now. Seasoned hunters gathered together, gearing up at the base of the mountain to begin the hunt. We split up and took positions along the slopes, where we had a clear view of the valley below. The echoing barks of our hunting dogs grew louder and louder, a clear sign that the target was being relentlessly pursued. There it is! A massive wild hog, scrambling to escape in panic. Without hesitation, I raised my rifle, aimed, and pulled the trigger. Following the barks, I caught a glimpse of another hog moving through my line of sight. I didn't give it a chance to run. I kept firing. Spot on. A series of fast and accurate shots brought it down effortlessly. From my ambush spot, I scanned the area, searching for the next target. Not long after, I spotted a hog staggering through a patch of dry trees at the bottom of the valley. It was a long shot, too far for a regular shot, but I knew I wouldn't get a second chance. I took a deep breath, steadied my aim, and squeezed the trigger. The shot rang out, and just a beat later, the hog dropped. It was a mix of surprise, tension, and pride. That wasn't luck, that was skill and self-belief paying off. I weaved carefully through the dense bushes, every step silent and cautious. Peeking through the leaves, I spotted a hog on the run. I quickly gave chase, closed the distance, and the moment it was in my sights, I fired. Everything went surprisingly smoothly. A strong start like this is always a good sign for a fruitful hunting day. After a tense chase, the hog herd scattered in all directions. I quickly repositioned to a thick bush to set up an ambush. Time ticked by slowly, each second felt like an eternity. But I knew patience always pays off. Suddenly, a hog dashed out, its footsteps giving me just enough warning. I didn't hesitate, my reflexes kicked in. A sharp shot rang out, the hog collapsed. A perfect ambush, quick, clean, and decisive. You see, in such a rich ecosystem, hogs love to hide, so I knew there were more lurking nearby. I kept searching. There, a dark shape flashed by. Gunshots exploded in the air. But I didn't stop there. I found fresh tracks. Then, another chance. A group of strong hogs entered my sights. A few precise shots later, they too were down. Another effective ambush, just the way I like it.
Bunları döndürdüm.
After several intense encounters, the whole team was starting to feel the fatigue. But just as we paused to rest, more hogs appeared. They were sneaking through the thick foliage. Not wasting a second, we pressured them out of hiding. As soon as a few broke out from the brush, I raised my gun and squeezed the trigger. The shots were fast and precise. Even though they were quick and alert, our experience and calm under pressure gave them no chance of escape. In the forest, hogs would occasionally dart through the trees. We never missed a beat, constantly chasing, flanking, and seizing every opening to strike. I've taken part in more than a few intense hunts, but the wild boar hunt in the coniferous forests of Siberia stands as one of the most unforgettable. The boars here weren't just numerous, they were massive and ferocious. Facing such formidable opponents, we made thorough preparations before stepping into this wild showdown. Leaving the farm behind, the team made their way into the forest. The dogs were released right away, quickly fanning out to track the prey. Hearing the urge of barking echo through the trees, my heart raced as I dashed forward. The moment I spotted the boar, I fired without hesitation, giving it no chance to escape. Not far away, another boar went down under the fierce assault of the hounds and a well-placed bullet from one of our rifles. Several more boars were taken down shortly afterward. Some were at considerable distances and sprinted at staggering speeds, making them difficult to aim at. Still, we held firm, staying locked onto our targets. Within half an hour, we had eliminated a significant number of these dangerous intruders. The most unexpected moment came when a massive boar, easily over 90 kilograms, burst out of the underbrush and charged across a grassy field like a black tornado. Its speed caught me off guard, but I managed to fire just in time. The bullet hit its mark, and the beast collapsed after only a few staggering steps. We hunted relentlessly into the afternoon. No one even considered stopping. Gunshots echoed steadily through the quiet forest, each shot cleanly dropping a target. The atmosphere was electric, team morale at an all-time high. It was a golden opportunity, the perfect time to strike. In just a few quick moments, sharp, decisive shots brought them down one after another. The hunt continued without pause. Even when the boars panicked and scattered, few managed to escape our icy aim. Over the next hour, we silently observed the surroundings and soon spotted a stream of wild boars. They sprinted headlong, oblivious to the trap ahead. We held our positions, waiting breathlessly until the prey stepped fully into view. Then, all at once, the team opened fire, a hail of bullets rained down. Those once familiar silhouettes quickly became nothing more than motionless black shadows. In contrast to the sweltering heat of the lowlands, the plateau offers a cool climate, perfect for wild boars to thrive in both number and size. That's why this time, we chose the Highlands as our ambush point to eliminate the herd. Join us as we embark on this new journey. Wasting no time, the whole team quickly unleashed the pack of hounds to search for wild boars. Just moments later, their loud barking immediately drew all eyes in one direction. Down below, a dramatic chase was unfolding between the wild boar and the dogs. Without hesitation, I took the shot. Hit by the bullet, the boar lost its sense of direction, tumbled over, and collapsed instantly. Our hounds didn't stop there. They soon found another target, a group of more than 10 strong wild boars fleeing. My buddy Felix swiftly moved into a blocking position and carefully took aim. With a perfectly accurate shot, one of the boars dropped in an instant. As we moved toward a new area, we suddenly encountered a boar trying to escape. Jumping off the vehicle, we rushed to take the shot. In a flash, the boar fell beneath a green pine tree. From there, we headed straight up the pine-covered hill to search for new targets. Fortunately, the bullet found its mark. The boar rolled several times and slid down the slope, its escape dream cut short. Before we could catch our breath, a horrifying scene unfolded before us. Over a dozen black shadows darted up the hill at incredible speed. Immediately, a series of rapid gunshots rang out. The ground seemed to shake from the chaos. In the end, a few of those black figures fell before they could fight back. There were still plenty of wild boars in the area, so we couldn't stop them. After spotting signs of the herd, we tracked their path and positioned ourselves at the hilltop, ready to fire. Shot 1. Shot 2. Then 3. Though the boar was wounded, it still tried to run. I kept a sharp lookout. There they were, several boars charging down from the hilltop.
Tam sıyırdı. Sıyırdı.
No need for signals. We all opened fire at once. In just moments, several wild boars were taken down, their piercing cries chilling to the bone. Our journey continued, with fully grown wild boars, known for their destructive power, remaining our top targets. As soon as we spotted them, the team split up to block their escape and fired continuously. However, they were incredibly fast. Only one was hit, lying flat on the ground. It took another half an hour before we found more wild boars. The dense trees were like a curtain shielding them, making it hard to aim. The hunt came to an end. Though we were exhausted, the feeling of success was unmatched.
A seemingly ordinary hunt quickly turns into a nightmare, when the prey no longer fears, but instead turns back to attack. Who is the real hunter? These ferocious wild boars possess incredible strength and speed, showing no fear of humans. This beast can make us pay a hefty price. In the heart of the dense forest, can we escape the grasp of this new predator? Stay tuned until the end of the video to witness a showdown filled with tension in every second. Wild boars are a common invasive species in Russia, particularly in the Far East. With an average weight of 90 to 200 kilograms, some individuals even weigh over 400 kilograms. They cause severe damage to agriculture, destroying crops and increasing the cost of crop protection. Globally, wild boars cause approximately $1.5 billion in economic losses each year. Furthermore, they negatively impact ecosystems and act as a vector for diseases that can affect both animals and humans. The real hunt begins. This is the time when wild boars emerge from their hiding spots to forage, and we are ready to intercept them. The vehicle speeds through vast fields, while the road ahead narrows into dirt paths, surrounded by barren trees, standing stark against the twilight. Without wasting time, our eyes scan the surroundings, and then, right on the edge of the field, a herd of wild boars appears. Their shaggy, filthy coats are not only unsightly, but also a potential source of disease. As soon as they notice us, they grow wary, ready to flee at any moment. But before they can escape, a series of gunshots ring out, sealing their fate. A few boars, struck by bullets, writhe helplessly on the dry ground, struggling in vain as if begging for their lives. Some manage to dash into the forest, but we won't let a single one get away. We climb higher, maneuvering over jagged rocks, the ground beneath us rustling with dry leaves under each step. The surrounding silence is suffocating. Only the sound of our heavy breathing and the faint rustling of the trees in the wind remains. Fatigue begins to creep in, our legs growing heavier with each uphill step. But ahead, the target is still lurking. We cannot give up. We cannot let the prey slip away. Suddenly, the frenzied barking of our hunting dogs shatters the stillness, signaling that the target is dangerously close. The team instantly sharpens their focus, fingers tightening on the triggers. There it is. I waste no time. I take aim and pull the trigger. A thunderous gunshot echoes through the mountains, and this time, it doesn't get away. The wild boar collapses on the spot. A perfect ending to this heart-pounding hunt. After a night of rest, we regain our strength and push deeper into the nearby forest. As soon as we arrive, the dogs erupt into frantic barking, a clear sign that the prey is near. Everyone holds their breath, scanning through the thick foliage. Aside from the dogs, an eerie silence blankets the forest. The quiet is suddenly torn apart as a massive shadow charges forward. I instantly raise my gun, summoning every ounce of composure and skill I have. One precise shot. The bullet pierces straight into the head of a 60 kilograms wild boar. It staggers for a moment before collapsing onto the ground. Its coarse, dust-covered fur is now still, its powerful body motionless as its final breath fades away. Before us lies a breathtaking natural landscape. Endless green fields stretch as far as the eye can see, with towering mountains casting their shadows against the deep blue sky, a picture of serenity and beauty. But beneath this tranquility lurks a menace. Wild boars running rampant, destroying crops and endangering livelihoods. Not only our hunting team, but many other groups have also gathered, determined to protect this land from the invasive beasts. After careful observation, I choose my spot beside a bush, tense with anticipation. It has arrived. I fire immediately, but the massive beast is faster than expected. It bolts with astonishing speed, forcing me to fire again and again. Only after the fifth or sixth shot does it finally collapse. But there is no time to rest. Our hunting dogs have already located another target. I quickly reposition myself to intercept it. This time, there's no escape. One decisive shot, and it's over. In less than 10 minutes, 2 more full-grown wild boars are taken down. A triumphant hunt, marking yet another victory in our relentless battle against the invaders of the wild. Noticing the herd's escape route, I sprint toward the hilltop, racing against time. My breath comes fast and hard in the eerie silence, heightening the tension to its peak. And there it is. The wild boar freezes in panic as it spots me. Its wild eyes flash with fear as the cold muzzle of my gun locks onto it. But by then, it is already too late. At the end of our expedition, the rewards were substantial. However, given the destruction they have caused, this battle is far from over.
In recent days, the situation of wild boars has been the destruction in this mountainous area has gotten out of control. The farmers here are fed up. They need an immediate solution, and that's why we're here. Today, our plan is twofold. Set a trap for wild boars first, then go hunting in the nearby mountains. We drag large iron cage traps to an area where wild boars often pass by. The dense footprints on the ground show that they have been here many times before. The trap is firmly reinforced, has a surveillance camera system, placed close to the edge of the forest, baited with corn and food with the scent of bran. After completing, the group quickly moves to the mountain, ready for the hunt. We split into two groups, lurking on the hilltops. The group moved carefully, listening, observing every movement around. Here it is, a wild boar appeared right in front. The first round of fire was deployed. We were quite surprised that it could escape without any damage. Raise the gun, ambush ahead. But this was just the beginning. We continued to move forward, searching for the boar's tracks. Something was ahead. Approach carefully, it was a wild boar. This is a very crowded herd of pigs. The pigs are big and fat, but their speed of movement cannot be underestimated. Therefore, it is very difficult to shoot accurately and take them down. It seemed like an opportunity was coming, but the herd of pigs detected the danger. They immediately turned around and ran away. Without thinking much, we decisively pulled the trigger. We only managed to take down a medium-sized target. With a bit of regret, the group was determined to track down and take down the entire herd of pigs. Here it is. The eyes of the group still followed every movement of the wild pigs. As soon as they moved to the most ideal position, gunshots immediately rang out. The hunt continued. Each time we encountered them, we had to calculate the appropriate tactics to optimize efficiency while still ensuring safety. Through each battle, the number of wild boars killed increased. We knew that there were still many other herds of wild boars lurking somewhere on this mountain. We arrived at the neighboring mountain. This was where the wild boars often came in the afternoon to find food. And as expected, another herd of pigs appeared. This time, the battle was more fierce. We had to constantly move and change positions to avoid being counterattacked by the pigs. The huge, bulky boars were still galloping across the hillsides. Only when they reached an open area could we open fire. Despite having killed a large number, the battle was not over yet. The wild boar continues to thrive, and there will certainly be more hunting trips like this in the future. The last series of shots could only take down a few wild pigs. Quite a pity, so we need to try harder. Today, we did a good job, but tomorrow, there are still many challenges waiting ahead. As the sky began to darken, the group returned to the trap area. When they arrived, the sight before their eyes surprised everyone. The trap had worked. At least 10 wild boars were trapped inside, struggling wildly but unable to escape. To ensure safety, we decided to finish them off before opening the trap. After a long day of fighting, we had taken down dozens of wild boars, a significant number in our efforts to control their numbers. Oklahoma, a state in the middle of the U.S., where corn, soybeans, and wheat fields stretch endlessly. But at this time of year, the fields are no longer peaceful. Wild pigs, destructive creatures, have appeared in terrifying numbers and destroyed more than 200 hectares of crops in less than 2 weeks. This time, we decided to head straight up the mountain, to their lair, to put an end to the destruction that is spreading every day. We started early in the morning. 2 large feeders were placed on the familiar trail, where people said the pigs often appeared. The trough contained a mixture of corn, pellets, and a special scent to attract them. No voice, no strong movements, just eye contact. When the distance was just right, the first bullet whizzed by, the boar collapsed right next to the trough. We continued our ambush at the second trough, more than 500 meters away from the first position. After more than an hour of waiting, another boar came. This is it. Once again, we have the absolute initiative. It seems that our position has been discovered, which makes waiting quite a bit of time. We started expanding our hunting range to the neighboring areas. We moved to a nearby plateau, which has a fairly diverse ecosystem, making it a perfect shelter for the pigs. Here it is. At a distance of 200 m, we opened fire. The pigs were caught off guard, unable to react. They were frantic, but all paths were blocked. A surprise attack, but extremely effective. Adjust the scope, check the surrounding areas, determined not to miss any targets. You see the dark shadows behind the tree. Boom! The gunshots are crisp. The leader fell. It was bigger than I thought. It was truly a great trophy. Without wasting any time, we followed the tracks of those who had escaped the previous battle. We walked for nearly 2 hours. Look! A few minutes later, with just one accurate shot, the wild boar was taken down. The feeling of hunting wild boars made me extremely excited. After the battle on the plateau, a few remaining ones ran towards the mountain top about 500 m away, an ideal escape route for them. Wild boars move very fast, so I had to aim accurately and pull the trigger at the right time to hit the target. Although the task was difficult, for professional hunters like us, it was normal and required to be done. The situation was extremely chaotic at this time, the herd of pigs frantically searching for a way to escape. But every corner was surrounded. wild boar ran past my sight. I quickly pulled the trigger. However, they were extremely fast. Not only me, my teammates also took down quite a few wild boars. Therefore, today we certainly will not have to return empty-handed. Time is not early anymore. On the way back, the black shadows standing out in the middle of the field caught the attention of the whole team. Another herd of wild boars was found. At a distance of about 160 meters, I fired a few consecutive shots. The leader fell down. A fierce chase followed immediately after that. Luckily, we were able to close in time, taking down the remaining ones before they successfully escaped. The last shots ended a long day filled with the smell of gunpowder and endless battles. Wild boars in Turkey are known for their enormous size, far surpassing their European counterparts. However, more and more serious problems involving these boars are being reported, from crop destruction to human attacks. With our well-honed hunting skills, today we are determined to launch a campaign to wipe out these menacing creatures. In the morning, my fellow hunters and I arrived at the mountaintop, where we had a panoramic view of the surrounding area. After hours of tracking and patiently waiting, sure enough, the wild boar appeared. After taking a moment to adjust my aim, I pulled the trigger. But it moved incredibly fast and was highly alert, successfully dodging my shot. Still, we didn't give up. This time, the boar was truly taken down. Earlier success, we didn't miss the chance to bring down a wild boar charging toward us at terrifying speed. After 2 deadly shots, it collapsed completely in the blink of an eye. We carefully scouted every corner of the mountainside, constantly spotting silhouettes of wild boars. They were all aggressive and moved rapidly. Excitement surged within me, and I longed to hunt even more. We kept chasing, closing in, and aiming carefully. Gunshots rang out crisply. Each boar panicked and tried to flee, but there was no escape. My accurate shot put an end to the target. That afternoon, we resumed our mission to eliminate this invasive species. The boars were agile and quick, making them difficult targets. Only when one got cornered by the dogs in dense trees did I get a clear shot. Perfect. Two precise gunshots rang out, and the wild boar had no chance of escape. Sticking with our close pursuit strategy, we advanced deep into the forest where the wild boars were hiding. Though we didn't find a large group, we did encounter giant boars. There was no time for hesitation. The aiming and shooting had to be fast yet decisive. That's what helped us successfully bring down the boar as we intended. From within the trees, I spotted a wild boar standing still. It seemed somewhat alert, but that didn't matter. With a single quick and resolute shot, it fell motionless to the ground. Some of the wild boars were so huge that I could see them clearly from a long distance, yet I couldn't shoot right away. We had to trek down to get closer to the prey. Luckily, the dogs alerted us to the exact location of the boars. After one shot, it fled in panic, but ultimately it was still taken down in the vast wilderness. With the success we'd achieved on this hunt, we planned to return earlier than expected. But on the way back, a pack of wild boars suddenly charged out, as if taunting us. They crossed the road quickly, so we were determined to pursue. One ran across an open field. I chased after it and fired a shot, successfully taking it down amidst the hunting dogs. And so I ended today's hunt on a high note.
They are invaders, spreading disease and wreaking havoc wherever they go. Wild boars. Not only do they cause devastating damage to crops and the environment, but they're also carriers of dozens of dangerous diseases. If left unchecked, their numbers will multiply uncontrollably, leading to catastrophic consequences. Today, we set out with one goal in mind: to hunt down and eliminate these destructive pests. Watch every thrilling moment, every intense confrontation, and see how we take them down. With their sharp noses and extraordinary hunting instincts, our dogs quickly track down a wild boar. A dark figure bolted across the endless white landscape, charging forward like a storm. But before it could disappear into the dense undergrowth, I pulled the trigger. A single shot rang out. We climbed higher, deploying our drone to gain a better vantage point over the boar's movement. And it was a perfect decision. Our hunting dogs had locked onto a target, chasing it with breathtaking speed. The pursuit led straight to the open field where we had set up an ambush. A gunshot echoed through the valley, but the boar kept running. It was persistent, but so elusive. We fired again. The second shot, the beast staggered and collapsed. Instinctively, they sought refuge, and the only safe place left was the desert. If we didn't act now, they would return in just a few days, causing even more destruction. Our experienced hunting team quickly devised a plan. We split into smaller groups, securing every possible escape route. The highest peak was chosen as the lookout point. The barren branches and rugged terrain made our approach difficult. But then a silhouette emerged ahead, our target. It tried to escape, but our skilled hunting dog intercepted its path. Cornered, the beast made a desperate move, charging forward in a final attempt to fight back. I steadied my aim, unshaken. As it lunged, I pulled the trigger. The gunshot shattered the silence, halting its charge instantly. Across the hill, my teammates fired as well. The hunt was over, sealed in gun smoke and victory. Dusk was approaching, but we pressed on, making every second count. From our vantage point on the high ridge, I spotted a herd of wild boars gathered below, oblivious to the looming danger. Years of hunting experience guided our next move. We held our breath, steadied our rifles, and took the shot. The first bullet cracked through the air, shattering the stillness. The herd scattered in panic, but we didn't let them escape. A relentless barrage of gunfire followed, cutting off their retreat. Nearly a dozen boars. Only 2 managed to flee. Like warriors charging in a battle, our hunting dogs sprinted across the battlefield, their eyes scanning every tree, every bush. Their growls were sharp, aggressive. A panicked wild boar dashed across our path. This was the moment. I stepped forward, aimed, and fired. The bullet tore through its thick hide. The beast let out a feral roar, before collapsing, lifeless. It had barely hit the ground before our dogs swarmed in to claim their victory. Just as we thought the hunt was over, our dogs erupted into a frenzy, barking wildly at a dense bush. Something was hiding inside. A strange sense of urgency filled the air. This wasn't an ordinary hunt. We tightened our grip on our weapons, ready for anything. Everything happened in an instant. Instinct took over. I pulled the trigger. The bullet flew, striking the beast dead center.